Today we can discuss about mastering effective study techniques. Several practical study techniques can significantly enhance a student's ability to learn and retain information. Active recall. Engaging your memory. Active recall is a learning method where students continuously test themselves by deliberately pulling information from their memory rather than merely passively reviewing notes. This active retrieval process strengthens neural connections and demonstrably improves long-term retention of knowledge. Several techniques effectively implement active recall for school-aged children. Flashcards. These are highly effective tools for active recall. A key point or question is written on one side and the corresponding answer on the other. Regular self-testing with flashcards is crucial. Blurting and summarizing. This technique involves rapidly writing down or verbally articulating everything a student can recall about a specific topic. Alternatively, condensing key points into a shorter text or bullet points in one's own words helps to test comprehension and force active thought. Practice questions and past papers. Engaging with practice questions or past exam papers mimics the actual exam format, preparing the brain to retrieve information under pressure. These tests are invaluable for identifying knowledge gaps, reducing test anxiety, and enhancing long-term memory. For optimal benefit, students should begin practicing early, simulate actual exam conditions, thoroughly review any mistakes, and vary the types of questions they attempt. The Feynman Technique. This powerful method involves explaining a topic to a friend, family member, or even an imaginary audience. The act of teaching forces a student to truly understand the material and simplify complex concepts, thereby exposing any gaps in their own knowledge. Pre-testing. Before commencing a study session, students can benefit from pre-testing themselves on the material, writing questions when note-taking. A simple yet effective strategy is to formulate questions related to the notes while taking them. This transforms the passive act of reading notes into an active thinking process during subsequent revision. The consistent evidence highlights that active learning strategies lead to significantly superior educational outcomes. Active learning necessitates a fundamental shift in approach, moving from passive information absorption to active information retrieval and application. So, young scholars, be more silent in your studies. Active recall techniques at a glance. Flashcards. Write key points, questions on one side, answers on the other. Quiz regularly. This will strengthen memory pathways, promotes true recall. Next technique: blurting and summarizing. Rapidly write, say everything recalled about a topic. Condense key points in own words. Tests understanding, forces active thought, exposes knowledge gaps. Next technique: practice questions and past papers. Solve questions mimicking exam format. Create own questions. This will get brain used to retrieval under pressure, identifies gaps, reduces anxiety. Next technique: the Feynman Technique. Explain a topic to a friend, family member, or imaginary audience. Next technique: pre-testing. Test yourself on material before starting a study session. Enhances information intake during the actual study session. Next technique: writing questions and notes. Formulate questions related to notes while taking them. Transforms passive reading into active thinking during revision. These are some of mastering effective study techniques. Try to follow one of the techniques given and follow a specific plan to achieve success. Next, we are going to discuss about spaced repetition, optimizing retention over time. Spaced repetition is a scientifically validated method that involves reviewing information at progressively increasing intervals. thereby significantly boosting memory and reducing the likelihood of forgetting. A practical framework for implementing spaced repetition is the 2-3-5-7 method, which suggests reviewing a topic at specific intervals. Straight after a lesson, immediately summarize key points in one's own words. Create a study guide or make flashcards next day. Utilize active recall techniques to test oneself without consulting notes. 3 days later, conduct another self-test, employing methods such as blurting, the Feynman technique, or attempting past exam paper questions. 1 week later, continue testing and specifically identify areas of greatest difficulty, focusing subsequent efforts on those challenging concepts. This framework can also be adapted to plan revision sessions by working backward from an exam date. The benefits of spaced repetition are manifold. It minimizes the need for last-minute cramming, cultivates stronger memory retention, promotes smarter rather than longer study habits, ensures long-term information retention, and allows for personalized learning adjustments based on individual performance. Let's review what we have discussed. Sample spaced repetition schedule. Straight after a lesson, immediately summarize key points in one's own words. Create a study guide or make flashcards. This will solidify initial learning. Create first memory trace. Next day, utilize active recall techniques to test oneself without consulting notes. This will reinforce memory. Combat initial rapid forgetting. 3 days later, conduct another self-test, employing methods such as blurting, the Feynman technique, or attempting past exam paper questions. This will strengthen connections further as memory begins to fade. 1 week later, continue testing and specifically identify areas of greatest difficulty, focusing subsequent efforts on those challenging concepts. This will ensure long-term retention. Target persistent weaknesses. This framework can also be adapted to plan revision sessions by working backward from an exam date. The benefits of spaced repetition are manifold. It minimizes the need for last-minute cramming, cultivates stronger memory retention, promotes smarter rather than longer study habits, ensures long-term information retention, and allows for personalized learning adjustments based on individual performance. The consistent evidence highlights that active learning strategies lead to significantly superior educational outcomes. Thanks for watching. See you in next session.